Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Chelsea, you know that, I know that. I'm just a lady with a bulldog, a camera, and too many opinions. And the SuperDad official deep dive video that I did hasn't even been edited yet, and I'm already filming a follow-up video about this guy. This is wild.
I am very litigious.
First and foremost, this man has sent out about 1 billion emails to everyone who has ever spoken about him, apparently. Of course, I am speaking in a hyperbolic manner. This is all my own opinion, all that, right? So I had posted a video on TikTok about saying, like, if you have had any experiences with him, contact me, whatever. I had a lot of people reach out to me, and it really seemed like he wasn't going to continue to engage. However, that lasted like maybe 2 days. Hold on right there. You know what's horrible? The subject of this video. You know what's not horrible? The giveaway that we're doing with the sponsor of this video, BLVD. My friends at BLVD and I are giving out free vibrators or gift cards for vibrators to everyone who signs up through the link in my description box. Now, what is BLVD? Well, if you have never watched any of my videos, because they're one of my longest sponsors at this point, BLVD is a by women for women company that knows and believes that everyone, and I mean everyone, should feel comfortable celebrating, exploring, and embracing their sexual wellness. Now, we've talked about the Pebble. That is definitely a BLVD staple. There's suction and vibration controlled independently at 5 suction speeds and 5 vibration speeds and no annoying pattern modes, and it's ergonomically built. But the newest edition, the Pebble Pro, has next-gen power, a stronger and more powerful motor for deeper and more satisfying sensations. It's fully customizable, 3 precision-engineered interchangeable heads, all-in-one versatility. So do yourself a favor and upgrade that nightstand, baby girl. You deserve it. And BLVD thinks that you deserve it too, and thinks that you should embrace your sexuality. I am of that thought as well, though. I think that you should. I'm a big fan of it, and a big fan of BLVD, and like I said, the giveaway we're doing with them. So go ahead and sign up through the link in my description box, and you'll get either a free vibrator or a gift card for a free vibrator with your purchase. Thank you, BLVD, for sponsoring this video, and thank you to you guys for continuously supporting my sponsors. So I got an email. This morning, yesterday? I don't remember. My days are blurring together. But I got an email last night at like 8 p.m. from Jeromy that says, please be advised that the attached documents include both a demand for retraction/removal and an evidence preservation demand. You are instructed to review the attached files carefully and comply with the requirements set forth therein. Please confirm receipt of this email and the attachments. So I'll tell you what my response was. So, again, really using ChatGPT, in my opinion, a lot. So that's not completely unhinged. Now, keep in mind, at this point of me receiving this email from him, I have not posted my video. I literally had like just finished a few hours before filming my longer video about him, and I have not posted anything to YouTube. I have posted, I want to say I posted 2 videos on TikTok about him, just like kind of like an introductory one, just being like, oh brother, this guy stinks kind of thing, and like making fun of how he spells his name, because who spells your name like that? And then also one requesting to tag people in the comments if you know someone who like I can interview regarding like advocacy for like people with autism or legal abuse or like doxing or like, you know, the registry. I don't know. Just literally anyone that I could interview for that video that I filmed yesterday that will hopefully be up obviously before this one goes up, right? So I've posted literally 2 videos and just, you know, super casual ones, nothing serious. And like the things I know about this man are from his own mouth and from court documents and like public records. And so it's really interesting that he is doing this, but I've talked to like 7 other people and they've all already said too that he sent them this like same demand. So here we have legal notice and demand for retraction/removal and evidence preservation. Keep in mind, he does not have a lawyer. This notice serves as a formal legal demand for the immediate retraction, correction, and removal of false and defamatory statements you have made and or republished about me. Republished? So you mean like a repost? How am I supposed to retract or correct a repost? You're going to hold me accountable for someone else's, like what? Like TikTokers, I swear to God. right? It's infuriating. As well as a demand for the preservation of all related evidence. So you want me to delete everything but keep it all too? Who has the space? Not me. These statements have been published across social media platforms, including but not limited to YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and any other platforms where you posted content about me or my minor child. He keeps mentioning his minor child. I have never mentioned his daughter by name. I've never shown her face. I don't talk about his daughter. When someone is talking about your shitty parenting, in my opinion, shitty parenting and lunacy regarding like being a parent, that doesn't mean someone's talking about your child. The only statement of fact that may be truthful from anything you have stated or repeated is that I am on a public registry. It is true that you're on a public registry, but it's false that that's the only true statement that I've posted because like I've looked at the court records. What's going on here? Formulating personal opinions, insinuations, or accusations and presenting them as fact is not accurate, not protected, and is actionable. Who's stating these things as fact? I can say you're annoying and that I don't think you're a good dad and all these things, but like, I don't think, in my opinion. And I do agree. He did say something that like, just saying in my opinion doesn't mean that like, you can say whatever you want. I completely agree with that. And he's right with that. However, it's all about how you're framing those sentences and putting out that information. I mean, I can share like what I'm basing my opinion on, but I am of the belief and of the opinion that you're not a good dad and that, you know, exploiting your child on the internet for views and that you're a bully and egotistical. I'm of that opinion from what I have seen on the internet. It's crazy that like, it seems like he wants to be a public figure, but then can't handle people having opinions about you. Like, just move on. Additional notice, third-party incitement harassment by proxy. I always say at the end of my videos and at the beginning and like throughout it, don't go harass this person. That makes me look bad if you're doing that on my behalf. Don't be doing that. It's not a petting zoo. It's not an interactive experience. Keep your hands and feet and your appendages, whatever, inside the cart at all times, please. Okay. So no. Have never done that, would never do that. Don't think it's okay for people to like call CPS or anything like that. Don't do that. Having said that, this goes further and says your posts and communications have not remained mere commentary. Instead, the publication and repetition of false and inflammatory accusations has foreseeably caused and encouraged third parties to contact Child Protective Services. Well, I mean, I haven't even posted anything yet, so no. No, it hasn't. Law enforcement, courts, schools, and other government agencies regarding me and my family without justifiable cause. This conduct constitutes harassment by proxy, misuse of official systems, and unlawful interference. Your content has also been adopted, amplified, and repeated by other creators, compounding the harm. So what I think happened is that he's just sending this out as like a blanket thing to everybody and hoping that it sticks, I guess, or scares people. He does seem like someone who will go through with a filing, and again, I would think it would be dismissed. Lordy. So that's wild. Unless someone is like doing a call to action and saying like, yes, go call CPS on this person, which I would not do that. Don't call his job. I mean, he works for himself, but his job, law enforcement, like I even said in my video, like, don't go leave bad reviews for his business if you haven't interacted with or hired him or worked with him. Like, that's weird. Don't do that. Yeah. So none of this applies to me, obviously, but it's just interesting that he's sending this out to literally everyone when it's like, this doesn't apply to me at all. 1, notice of falsity, demand for retraction/removal. 1, statements calling me a pedophile, child predator, or claiming I pose a threat to minors. I mean, is saying that someone is a pedophile like an opinion, or saying that they are a threat to minors? I mean, personally, I think he's a menace to society in general, just from looking at his rap sheet and how he handles situations and just like the air about him. But you did have sex with a 13-year-old when you were 25, and like, I would assume you were attracted to her. So wouldn't that make you a pedophile? So obviously the way you phrase these things really does matter. So for instance, if I'm saying something like he's on the registry, he's a pedophile, it very much so is like a murky line. I mean, that's with defamation in general, but when it comes to this, it's like, and obviously again, he sent these things out that, in my opinion, like have not a legal leg to stand on. And it's just like a blanket thing that he sent out to everybody, but it would be much like safer of wording to be like, I don't want to work with him. I don't want him around my kids because he has charges and was convicted of sexual crimes against a 13-year-old. Like he had sex with a 13-year-old when he was 25. Yeah. I don't know. It does get murky, like specifically with that and how you're phrasing it. So of course, obviously it's important to just stick to those facts of like, this is how many times he was charged. And listen, this guy's rap sheet is so long. And yes, you can be charged with something, but not convicted of it, of course. And again, anyone can sue anyone. I've said that on my channel for years and years. Anyone can sue anyone. It doesn't mean it's valid. Doesn't mean you're guilty of the thing. Literally means nothing. This guy's suing everyone and their mom and saying he's going to take everyone's houses and jobs and stuff, which isn't true, in my opinion. Lord, let's continue. Statements implying I am a danger to children or unsafe around my child. I mean, again, that's murky because it's like, well, you are on the registry twice. So like, not twice, he's, with 2 charges or 2 convictions. So it's like, buddy, yeah, come on. Oh, Lord. Statements alleging I deceived or manipulated courts or agencies to obtain custody. I mean, I wouldn't know anything about that. I purposely left out a lot about, or really all of it, about his ex, like not only his ex-wife, but his daughter's mother, just because it was murky. Dinesh, that guy Dinesh on YouTube, on every platform, has a really great video about this guy. I will have it linked down below about Jeromy, but he goes into like a lot more detail about that whole situation and just saying like how it was gross, basically. And I am of that same opinion. I don't think that she should be kept from her daughter, but it's just wild that a sex offender would have full custody rather than the mom. I can't understand how that would have been like the thing there. Statements presented as fact that I am a narcissist or have a mental health diagnosis. Well, what about if I say that you have PTSD? Because you say yourself that you have been diagnosed with PTSD according to this transcription from the Judiciary Committee in September of 2019. You say that you've been professionally diagnosed with PTSD. So can I say you have that? Because you said you have that. Also, yeah, I don't know any of his mental health diagnoses. I think he's a bully, and I do like trying to like dive into the like psychology of stuff and all that. But again, not a professional anything. I'm a professional bitch with a microphone, okay? Statements encouraging others to report, expose, or take real world action against me. No, leave that up to law enforcement. Don't do that. That's weird. Statements identifying or targeting my minor child. Again, weird. I have not seen anyone doing that. Statements alleging abuse towards the mother of my child. I don't know about any of that. I feel like I don't even have to keep saying like I didn't do that multiple times because I literally haven't done any of this. Statements alleging abuse towards the mother of my child. Statements provoking third parties to contact CPS, law enforcement, or other agencies based on false information. Didn't you already say that? This is so repetitive. Weird. Demand deadline to comply. Within 48 hours of receipt of this notice, you must remove all false content. What if I publish false content? Won't be false, obviously. Cease further publication, issue a correction, or retract on the same platforms, and confirm compliance by email reply. I did reply. I'll show you in a minute. And then evidence preservation, you must preserve all blah, 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 blah. Got it. Cool. Cease any direct or indirect harassment. Do not contact my minor child. Who is contacting this child? I'm pretty sure nobody is. I can't say that as a fact because I don't know, but like, does she even have a phone? What are they doing? How are they contacting her? Like, what are you talking about? Nothing in this notice waives rights, remedies, whatever, blah, blah, blah. This guy is a delusional freak. So I replied and I said, Jeromy, that's insane. Sent from my iPhone. And he replied and said, thank you. Receipt is noted. Then, of course, this morning I got a bunch of things from people saying that they received like the same thing from him, basically. And it's so weird. So he then posted this, I believe it was yesterday, but I've used the phrase litigious quite a bit with him to describe him because that's what I think of him. I think he is very litigious. It looks like he's very sue happy in my opinion. And I've said that in like the 2 videos that I've posted on TikTok and then like in a TikTok live. And then also I think like on a YouTube live or something like that. So he posted this video yesterday to TikTok.
I am very litigious. Absolutely, I am. Especially when people are talking about me when they have no idea what they're talking about and continue to spread a narrative that isn't accurate. See, when you leave out context and you cite a narrative that only suits to pander to the general public's emotional responses, which cause real world harm, you're actually causing a lot of problems. And there are legal consequences for spreading false information as fact. You might want to check with your attorney before you continue to talk about me. Just because you state something that is your opinion doesn't alleviate you from legal accountability or legal ramifications for what it is that you decide that you want to publish.
It's wild that he's saying like you need to check with your attorney when he doesn't even have one. So I checked with, I didn't even need to check with anyone because this is hilarious. But I forwarded quite a lot of things over to an attorney that I work with quite often. And her response was in all caps, LMAO. Yeah. So that's what she thought of that. And I'm going to need this man to stop wearing blazers all the time with like just normal shirts underneath. It's making me quite uncomfortable. I don't like it. Just like the whole air about him and thinking that he's the smartest person in the room. Like that's the vibe I get from him. But again, I don't disagree necessarily with what he's saying of you can't just say something in this in my opinion and like not face, the consequences of it. And to a point, that is true. However, if someone is saying that he is a 2-time registered sex offender and that he is on that list for indecent exposure and then also for having sex with a 13-year-old when he was 25, those are true statements. Those are facts. So I'm not sure why he thinks like context matters. It's truly wild. This is truly wild because this is a huge red flag for me of him thinking, and again, this is just like my theory and how I'm perceiving what he's saying and the videos I've seen of him talking about this. It really seems like he's like, no, but look, like context matters. And it's like, does it? With the first one, maybe context matters with indecent exposure. But with the second one, does it matter? He's like, well, she lied about her age. She's 13. You were 25. You're the adult in that situation. Also, again, I've seen pictures of her from when she was 13. She did not look 16. She did not look 19. And it's best to just err on the side of caution, bud. Like you should have just said no and not had her stay at your house for 2 or 3 days, however long she was there with you. Like, and then saying like, oh, she lied to me and said she was pregnant. And it's like, I kind of feel like that's irrelevant to like, you had already done the thing at that point. Like you already hooked up with her. And then also adding in like the context of it was not forced, like it was consensual. She's 13, she can't consent. So again, that is really a huge red flag for me. I don't have my red flag. He deserves it. I need to get it. Here we go. It's really just a huge red flag for me of like the context of this matters. And it's like, again, it seems like you're trying to explain away this. And so that again paired with him constantly starting videos with, I'm on a registry I don't belong on. And it's like, not once, but twice. Like, again, I could possibly even agree with him if it was just and that's me not knowing the full context of the indecent exposure conviction and charge when he was 17. And like, seems like he had lived a tough life leading up to that. He says that he lived in a group home, and then other reports say that he was like a transient. And so I assume to be in that situation, you like have lived a hard life, not an easy life. So I don't necessarily disagree with that. But then when you were 25, you had sex with a 13-year-old. So like at that point, that's a pattern, I guess 3 times would be a pattern, but still, there's a super simple solution, and it's to not be on the internet. Like this is such a great example of you're exposing yourself, no pun intended, talk about indecent exposure, but you are truly exposing yourself. You don't have to be on the internet. You don't have to be an influencer. You don't have to be a content creator. You don't have to do that, but you are putting yourself out there, and people are going to know about this charge and about your past, and they're going to dig into it, especially when things that you're saying aren't lining up. For instance, here is a transcription from a Judiciary Committee meeting or a hearing from September 27th, 2019. And I mean, I don't go to these types of things, so I guess this is just where like a committee will hear out your grievances or some shit. I don't know. Could not be me. I mean, maybe I should. Maybe I should start, yelling at the school board or something like this guy does. That would be crazy. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and read through what he says, his testimony, okay? Good morning, Chairman and Judiciary Committee members. My name is Jeromy Wilson. I'm here with my fiance and daughter as well, and we're from Omaha. So I've been on the sex offender registry since I was 18 for indecent exposure out of Iowa, and that I was charged when I was 17 as a juvenile. It was adjudicated in adult court. So due to the circumstances, I've been on the registry my entire life. In 2011, here in Nebraska, I met a girl on an adult dating website, Plenty of Fish. The girl turned out to be 15 after telling me that she was 19 years old. I spent a year in prison for this. I am now required to register as a sex criminal for the remainder of my natural life per the laws of Nebraska as they stand. Isn't that interesting that he said she was 15 years old? Because from his own report, well, not his report, but the police report, I assume is what this says. It says original report Thursday, 27th of January, 2011. And then it says this report Thursday, February 10th, 2011. And I have heard from other people, but I am thinking that this call was like with police so that they could get him to acknowledge that he knows that she's 13 and to acknowledge that intercourse took place. I'm not quite sure. Again, I'm not stating that as a fact or anything, but I am thinking that that's what happened. So he said in this testimony to the committee that the girl was 15 years old, and that was in 2019. However, and that's the age is not something you would forget. But in 2011, on this police report, it says the transcription of this phone call that he had with the victim. Jeromy then stated, "You're 13. Victim stated, "So?" And Jeromy said, "You lied to me." And then there was silence on the phone. And then Jeromy stated, "Nothing to say at all. I mean, I'm sorry or nothing." Then the victim stated, "What should I do?" And she said, "You should know how old I am." Jeromy then stated, "Well, you're 13. And the victim stated, "Yeah." And then they go on and she's saying that she's pregnant and that like she doesn't know what to do. So why are you giving a testimony saying that she's 15 when she was 13? Jeromy, you know she was 13. Come on. But that's not the only part of this that I'm like, wait a gosh darn minute. What are you talking about? He continues in his testimony and says, "I've been a target of crimes in the past due to being on the sex offender registry when I was younger. I do have PTSD and I was professionally diagnosed because I was shot in the back twice due to people finding out that I was a registrant." Hold the phone. Jeromy has not said this on social media, to my knowledge. Don't you think that he would? Don't you think he would be milking that if that actually happened? I could be wrong, and I will correct myself if I'm wrong, but like, I've never heard him talk about being shot in the back. Like, what? Wouldn't there be a record of that? Wouldn't you have gone to, with how litigious you are? Don't you think you would have gone to court or something about that? There would, what? Twice? Not once, but twice. That is wild. You survived 2 gunshots? What? I'm lucky to be alive today and telling my story, but I'm very proud and thankful to be here. So I'm going to fast forward to today's date. This storytelling is wild in this testimony. You can tell he worked real hard on it. I have been free and clear of all major legal troubles for 10 years at least. Well, spoke too soon. I have a daughter, of which I am the sole provider for 2 years. I have 2 soon-to-be stepchildren and a beautiful fiance. I currently own a successful business, of which has been named Best of Omaha for the past 2 years. I have served as board member, surprisingly, as chairman of Nebraska Early Head Start for the last year, and much more. No, go on, please. It's riveting, Jeromy. Had they known I was a sex offender, that probably wouldn't have happened. But I was proud to do that for my daughter. You were proud to do what for your daughter? Not disclose that you were on the registry? The registry impacts my life because as a sole provider for my daughter, I am limited to the freedoms not only I have, but the freedoms my daughter will have or no because of the current sex offender registry laws. It's kind of like maybe she should have a parent or a guardian who isn't on the sex registry, like more involved in her life, huh? Crazy. My fiance and I wants me to adopt her son eventually because I have been the only father her son has ever known. Current laws won't allow that either. For example, I can't teach my children gun or hunting safety. You should not own a gun. Thank you very much. I am limited how involved I am with their school and extracurricular activities. Good. Their mobility and freedoms become deeply impacted, and they're barely 3 years old. The effects of the sex offender registry deeply impact the potential for my business, for my family, and the hopes of having any normal life in the future. That is the point, buddy. I hope to be off the sex offender registry one day, but hopefully you guys can make it happen through legislation. But hopefully you guys can do something about it. but it takes a committee like yourselves to listen to us registrants and see how far the negative effects of the registry truly do go. You have the power to create better legislation and a safer community through statistics and testimonies of those of us who live through these things daily. I am a walking, talking version of rehabilitation in the truest form. I don't want to have a life sentence or a death sentence to my business or family because I made some mistakes in the past that I have learned from. People make mistakes. Mistakes do not make people. Thank you. Cringe. Again, if it was just that first offense, then okay. And he can say all day long, well, context matters, context matters. Even the screenshots I have here from his post about, I'm on the registry and I shouldn't be. You had sex with a 13-year-old. You should be. So yeah. The caption even says, people keep using my registration as a talking point, but they leave out the context. The context doesn't change that you had sexual relations with a 13-year-old when you were 25 years old. That doesn't change that. In my opinion, from like a marketing and like PR standpoint, you attempting to like explain it away is such a big red flag because it's showing to me at least that it's an attempt to diminish the actual crime. And then just saying like, well, she lied to me. She lied to me. And then he's like, oh, I'm not victim blaming, but like she lied to me, and like really making it, again, in my opinion, that this 13-year-old was like trying to manipulate him. And he's like, oh, well, she lied. She lied. So like, what else did she lie about? And it's like, what? Lord. So Jeromy is still acting like he is high and mighty and untouchable. Not a cute look at all. And unfortunately, it looks like Dinesh's TikTok account got taken down. He does have 2 million TikTok followers, and he's someone who has been sued by Jeromy and who Dinesh has made a YouTube video about Jeromy. It's like I said, it's very well done. I will have that link down below. But Dinesh also like gets harassed by a lot of people in general. So it's just interesting that Jeromy posted a screenshot of Dinesh's account being banned when accountability creating backfires. What? When accountability creating backfires. Of course, he'll blame the right without taking accountability for his own actions. Not today. Today is a victory for all of his victims. I mean, he still has a massive platform literally everywhere else, and I'm sure he'll get his TikTok back. Okay, and then he posted, we're gonna mute it because it has some copyrighted music on here, but he says, ha, woo, that moment where your accountability backfires. Boy, I tell you what, it was good for the goose, it's good for the gander. It's amazing how this works. It's so wild because it's like this guy is posting like he has like such a following, like he has fans. His TikTok account was banned at 140,000 followers, according to him and on his own bio. And his new account, he's not been able to retain anything. It's wild. I love it. But he has not even 1,000, not even 800 followers yet on his That Lawsuit Guy 2026 account. Oh God, he just posted again.
By now, you guys must have heard that there's an unfortunate situation. There's unfortunate news, but I hate to be the one to break it to you. Sorry, I'll be right back. Dinesh has been canceled here on TikTok. Wonder why?
Oh God. Okay. And now he's again acting like it's karma and has anything to do with him. I doubt it does. Like I said, Dinesh has a huge following. He has 2 million followers on TikTok. And when you do make content like his or like other people who are in that realm as well, not just commentary, you're gonna have people who hate you and try to get your account taken down all the time. Even I have that happen. So he really is like internalizing this and thinking it's like about him when it's absolutely not, which is really cute. Oh God, even his bio says, haters make you famous. I'll be back again. Will you? Like, it's just so cringe. Like, oh my God. Okay. I know I'm going to have a bunch more updates about this guy because he just is a lunatic, just truly a lunatic, in my opinion, just from my experience with him so far. And ew. So can't wait to be sued by him. It's gonna be wonderful. That's sarcasm. I don't have time for that, but like, I guess if we got to do it. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this update before the actual video is even finished and up. I mean, now it is by the time I post this, but hope y'all have a great rest of your day, night, weekend, whenever you're watching this. And remember that you are so hot and spicy. And stay feral, stay assertive. Your butt looks so good. That's only if you're subscribed to me. It's an instant BBL. Plump those butt cheeks. And if not, you're dead to me. So I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.